FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's 10/7/19. Well, it's been quite a week, quite a weekend, and looks like the coup is underway. They're not pulling out any stops. They want Trump gone and gone as quickly as possible with extreme prejudice if necessary. They're going to do what it takes. Right now, Adam Schiff is the point man on the whole thing, also called pencil neck, affectionately by those on the right, but Schiff is probably one of the most dishonest and disingenuous public officials to ever take the Washington stage. Hey, as always, we love to get your emails. What do you think about the Trump coup? Email us, kl@kerrylutz.com. Well, Matthew Vadum is with us now. And Matthew, we find you over at frontpagemag.com with our good friend David Horowitz and Mr. Greenfield as well. So welcome back to the show. And well,
thank you. They're both awesome guys.
I love them, man. They've been on the show numerous times each.
Right.
So we've got whistleblowers who are really co-conspirators. We've got Schiff being caught in numerous lies. Has this guy ever told the truth in his life?
You know, that is an interesting question that I'm not able to answer. He certainly seems like a pathological liar to me. The guy even made up words from the transcript between President Trump and the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky. And, there doesn't seem to be anything that Adam Schiff has any moral qualms about doing. He's a thoroughly dishonest piece of you-know-what.
You think? I think you're being a little kind to him, don't you think?
I probably am, yeah.
Yeah, he's
he really is a disgrace.
He's a
and I don't just say reflexively, that all Democrats are evil jerks, but he is.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think it's accurate. How does anybody take a guy like that serious? Aside from the appearance, he's so bug-eyed, which we can't hold people's appearances against them, except he's creepy looking, right? He's kind of cringeworthy.
Yeah, I suppose so. But we probably only feel that way because we don't like him to begin with. But I have to wonder about his. He's got bulging eyes, just like Cory Booker. Makes me kind of suspicious.
Yeah, and Nancy Pelosi, is this a thyroid deficiency? Where does this come from? I'm just not sure.
I don't know. Or some people just their eyelids overcompensate when they wear contact lenses. So maybe that has something to do with it.
I hope I don't look like that. That's what I look like with glasses on.
Right.
He's a creepy character. No question about it. And
he's a slime ball for sure.
He's a professional liar, right? I mean, he really is pathological.
Well, even more so than the typical politician on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. So if there was any integrity left in this institution, they would have long since expelled Mad Max Waters, right? They would have gotten rid of her a long, long time ago. They should have. She should be expelled. She's incited people to riot. She's incited them to harass members of the Trump administration. Why do they keep her around?
Wherever people may find them, she said, let them know they're not wanted.
Yeah, and that is a new low. And how could the party not renounce her? And then we've got the brother.
Their party's so radical that they're with her. They're not gonna denounce what she's doing. They support it fully. This is the party of Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
It certainly appears that way. And you look at Ilhan Omar married her brother. There's not even a dispute about it any longer. Committed tax fraud, and yet she is worthy of of having a public platform. She should have been removed, expelled. These obviously corrupt ones.
You're preaching to the choir here, but you're right.
Yeah, it's just there's something amiss here because even
Definitely.
Democrats, if this was a normal Congress, they wouldn't put up with this. And then the AOCs of the world, they're kind of calling the shots, right? They're just and Nancy Pelosi's the Pied Piper, AOC, and Nancy Pelosi is the merry jester who's carrying out her wishes. And there's something really wrong with this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm totally with you. This is the woman who said, who's all about rushing things. She doesn't care about what the proper procedures are. Remember, she said during the Obamacare legislative debate that they'll have to vote for the bill to find out what's in it. This is topsy-turvy. This is, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. This is just total madness, but it seems to be the norm nowadays.
Yeah. If that's the norm, I don't know what the unnorm is. How do they define deviancy if this is the norm? Because these people are out and out deviant here. They are perverse.
Yeah. And
I'm not talking about their proclivities. I'm talking about the way that they are portraying themselves.
Well, and their obsession with their Alinskyite obsession on accomplishing their ends by any means possible. Like, for example, Speaker Nancy Pelosi simply unilaterally declared that the House of Representatives was conducting an impeachment inquiry. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not the way it's done. I mean, the Constitution doesn't specify how exactly it has to be done. But in the last 3 times that presidents were put through the impeachment process, an authorizing or an organizing resolution was put forward on the House of Representatives and voted on back in 1868 when President Andrew Johnson was impeached, back in early 1974 when Richard Nixon was almost impeached. They at least formally voted to open an impeachment inquiry. And in, I guess it was about 1998 when Bill Clinton was impeached, House Representatives also voted to formally open an impeachment inquiry. And right now, it's just Nancy Pelosi's say-so that there's an impeachment inquiry, and we just have to take her word for it. And she's allowed her members to duck responsibility and instead of going on the record saying, I think there may be a case here, and let's formally investigate it and possibly impeach the president. And just to clarify, a lot of people think that impeachment means removing the president. It doesn't. It means
bringing charges.
Basically, indicting the president. It's laying a charge. Articles of impeachment in the House that then get sent over to the Senate for a trial. So yeah, that it's just craziness. And when they want something done, they don't give a farthing's cuss about the actual rules, about basic procedural fairness. So they've got to have him impeached, and they're just going to go ahead no matter what and get it all done by Thanksgiving or Christmas is their goal.
Yeah, how's this going to fly though? Is this going to happen?
Well, right now they seem it looks like it. Yeah, they seem hell bent on doing it, no matter how weak their evidence, no matter how weak their case is. So I'd have to say right now, more likely, it's slightly more likely than not that they will do it. Mm-hmm. They will impeach him, and then likely the thinking is President Trump's popularity will then increase, and that'll help seal his reelection bid. So it's gonna backfire when there's no. Some people are dismayed, and I get it, by the president's personal habits and antics and whatever. They're not usual, the sort of thing that people have grown accustomed to in a president of the United States, but they certainly don't rise to the level of impeachment and, taking him out because he made a phone call in which he suggested that the Ukrainian government should look into Joe Biden, as part of the investigation into the Russian electoral collusion conspiracy theory that the left has been promoted. That's, it's perfectly legitimate. In fact, a lot of commentators haven't bothered to mention, a lot of Trump-hating, never Trump commentators haven't even bothered to mention that Ukraine, as we now call it, we don't say the Ukraine because that was a Soviet era thing that meant to demean them or something like that. Anyway, Ukraine and the United States have a mutual legal assistance treaty that was ratified in the era of Bill Clinton in 2000.
Correct.
So the two countries are obligated to cooperate in investigating criminal matters. So the request is perfectly legitimate, even though it offends some Americans' sense of fair play. But on the other hand, should you get a pass just because you're running for president?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad precedent too.
Hey, and that's two separate judicial systems, right?
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Trilogy Metals is a world-class developer in Alaska's Ambler mining district. The company already possesses 8 billion pounds of copper, 3 billion pounds of zinc, over 1 million gold-equivalent ounces, and now over 77 million pounds of cobalt. Trilogy's Arctic project boasts an after-tax net present value of $1.4 billion with a 33% IRR. Trilogy's led by an experienced management team with proven success in discovering and developing projects in Alaska. The company is well capitalized, has no debt, and possesses strong institutional support. Trilogy trades on the New York and Toronto exchanges under the ticker symbol TMQ. To learn more, go to trilogymetals.com. That's trilogymetals.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Yeah, one for the powerful and one for the ordinary citizenry. Well, it worked with Hillary Clinton. She never got seriously investigated.
Yeah, that's correct.
It's like it's like the Democrats have invented a new legal privilege, so that if one of them is running for an important office, it's hands off, and it's an impeachable offense to try to investigate them, which is just crazy. It means that gives them a green light to go ahead with any sort of craziness.
Yeah. And people who might be facing justice or retribution, all they have to do is run for office, and then, hey, everything's fine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they claimed before Trump got elected that he would be pulling stunts like, pardoning himself, and which I think the president can actually do. Crazy sort of stunts, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
In fact, it seems much more likely that that's the kind of thing that a Democrat would pull if he or she were in the White House.
Yeah. Yeah, well, nothing should surprise you anymore, right?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty cynical in my old age, but that's okay.
Little jaded, huh?
That's the natural state of somebody who lives and works in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, so Trump by a landslide, is that what you're thinking?
I don't know. I'm bad at predicting things. I still can't accept that Obama won in 2008. So I'm not the right guy to be asking for predictions.
The disenchantment with nonstop
that never should have happened, and yet it did.
Yeah,
and then he got reelected. So
that was the Republicans'
I still
fault.
have a hard time accepting that it happened.
Totally the Republicans' fault.
I think he'll win. I don't know if it'll be by a landslide, but it could be. It could be a Nixon 1972 style landslide. It could be because his opponents are just so insane.
And it sounds like, if you believe the articles, that Wall Street is repudiating and rejecting Elizabeth Warren. She is the front runner. Bernie is finished. He's done. Stick a fork in him. Same thing with Biden. He's finished because even the Democrats can't defend his corruption and his corruptibility. So that doesn't leave too many people unless a dark horse gets in there.
His lack of mental agility too.
Yeah. What agility.
Right.
Yeah. So when you start considering all of these things, you really come to the conclusion that this thing is really coming down to maybe Hillary's coming in, which would probably be a huge mistake as well. But they're out of options. I don't think
it's entirely possible because all of these Washington types, it was said, I guess you could apply it to a lot more than just U.S. senators, but it's been said that every United States senator looks into a mirror and sees a president staring back at him. And
God forbid.
That's true of a lot of people in Washington. They just all think that they're suited for the presidency, even no matter how marginal they may be.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
in terms of political figures.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, look at Bill de Blasio. He went out with a blaze of glory, not even achieving 0%.
0% in the polls.
So, they're legends. New York's
Bolshevik, communist, America-hating mayor.
Yeah, and they're legends in their own mind.
I was delighted that he got 0 in the polls. That was nice.
Yeah. Well, maybe people are coming to their senses.
If only it could have been lower.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was, honestly.
But too bad he couldn't have negative numbers.
Well, they had polls where literally he got 0%. Not one single person. It's not even a statistical anomaly. He had 0% because nobody wanted him to be president for good reason. Well, anyway.
Right.
Anyway, Matthew, it's always great speaking with you. So we find your work over at frontpagemag.com. It's a lot of fun reading your articles. We really appreciate you coming on. Questions, comments for Matthew, myself. Email is kl@kerrylutz.com. Twitter feed @kerrylutz. Facebook page, Financial Survival Network. The website, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Please check it out. Tell us what you think. Check out our podcast, our news aggregation, everything else. Sign up for our newsletter. Matthew, a pleasure. We will talk to you again real soon.
Well, okay. Thanks very much.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.